Hello, colleagues. My name is Henry Bello, and I'm here to speak to you on the topic, a Christian working for an atheist boss. The defense of the gospel by Christians anywhere they find themselves, be it workplace, residential neighborhood, or school, is very important these days, and it is the essential ingredient of evangelism that has really been missing. The Bible exhorts us to preach the gospel and urges us to contend for the faith as well. Jude verse 3. Just as the first believers contended against unbelievers. For example, Stephen, in his speech in Acts chapter 7, and Paul's address in Acts 17, verses 16 through 34. Giving reasons for our faith is neither an option, but rather it is an essential element of the biblical Christian witness. Working for an atheist boss is especially challenging for someone who commits himself to the service of the Lord. I set out to showcase the love of God, even though the kind of words coming from my boss's mouth and his actions toward me as a Christian at times could be very nasty. But it is my job to show him the other cheek, as ordered by Christ himself. I realized early that working under a boss who is an atheist will both provide an opportunity to witness and at the same time poses a serious challenge to me as a Christian. The way I live for God should permeate all areas of my life, even in the workplace. I cannot allow an atheist to have any negative thing to say about me as a Christian. This is a very serious challenge. This is a very serious challenge. I was prepared to let my boss and my co-workers to see a positive reflection of God in my work ethic, since they would like to equate my attitude and actions with Jesus. As a representative of God in this workplace, I always strive to work diligently and with integrity, knowing fully well that Colossians chapter 3, verses 23-25 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if you are working for the Lord, not for human masters. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." This is from Colossians chapter 3, verses 23-25. So from this passage, I know that my reward is in heaven. Even when jobs or co-workers are hard to like, we are to work as though God is our boss, and He is. That means doing tasks with joy, with a servant attitude, respect for others, diligence, and obedience to those in authority. Imagine what the workplace could be like if all believers approach their jobs this way. The Apostle Peter admonished believers to always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, with gentleness and respect. 1 Peter 3:15. It is only by meeting honest objections with biblical answers can we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. It was in this spirit that Paul vigorously defended the gospel. And it is my job, and your job too as a Christian, to stand for Christ, no matter what. Whether you are harassed, intimidated, you are to stand for Christ, because we are the light of the world. We are the salt of the world. And I want to conclude by reading from Romans chapter 1, verses 18 through 23, where Paul writes, "The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Since what may be known about God is plain to them. Because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuses. For although they knew God, they neither glorified Him as God nor gave thanks to Him. But their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being, and birds and animals and reptiles. It is only a fool that will say there is no God. Anywhere I am, I stand for the truth that God created everything, and our God is in everything. Amen.